It's a little white, flexible arms.
Yep.
And it's got the phone grabber thing on there. One thing after the other, it always is. It can never go smooth with YouTube. Never. Now we'll see if I'm live. If it's showing. Because I have 0 people on and 0 participants.
We've got 6 of us are chatting.
So, I see, so nothing's coming up there. So, I'm gonna go down to this one.
People will know if it's actually a screenshot or you just pulled them all and been
There it is.
staring at them for 5 minutes.
That's right. Okay, Calvin's in, and then Travis is on. They just got in. This one worked. The other one's just, okay. The other ones are just going crazy. Jonathan's in, okay.
Alright, so if you tell them log out, log in.
You gotta go to a different live, like, thumbnail. Hey guys, how you doing? Like always, hey Luke, how you doing? Like always, nothing goes smoothly with YouTube. Got the iPad out, Wi-Fi, everything's all ready to rock and roll. And it starts telling me JavaScript is old or expired, and then it's wanting me to do Google Chrome, but I'm using an iPad. Makes absolutely no sense. So then we're gonna try to go back to using the phone. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we'll take that one off. I'll put it on the tripod there. Had to go back to my phone again, which I didn't want to do because audio and the screen and everything. Every time, guys, every time YouTube creates problems for me. Oh my gosh. How's everybody doing? How y'all doing? Technical difficulties, right? What would Seek Anything Tool be without technical difficulties? And then you got Chris listening to the audio back there.
I'll turn it down.
We're setting up behind the scenes. There's Gary, Chris, okay. Everybody's there, all right. So now, I'll set you guys up. Move you over as you see my vest. There we go. Now I got you. So we can set up the tripod. Hopefully the audio is going to be okay because I don't have any, I don't have lavalier mics hooked up now. And I was concerned that my phone wouldn't do good picking all 3 of us up. So hopefully this is finding all of you well. And I've got Chris and Tyler all watching the comments. Turn this around. There you go. So there we have it. So hey guys, welcome. Another smooth intro on CK Tool. So, okay, oops, sorry about that, guys. So, look what's behind me. Look at that. One of the things I want to introduce to y'all is that was the Easter egg in my Instagram video a little while ago. I was over here cutting that stainless steel, and in the background you can see like a little sliver of the map. The reason for the map is I have thumbtacks.
There's the
Where all my knives are at. I've got some in Hawaii. I've got them all through here in the US, Canada. Got the Netherlands, Poland, New Zealand, and Australia. So I'm covering it all. I wanted to do this so bad because I wanted to give everybody kind of like an idea, where's your thumbtack kind of thing. Now, I got a ton of thumbtacks in California, Washington, Oregon, so one of these thumbtacks equals like 10 of you people. But I appreciate it, thank you. But yeah, so I got this set up. Cohen and I got this put up about 2 weeks ago, and I was really excited to see that and get it all kind of going and everything. So really nice there. Also, yes, oh, look at that guy. Look at that handsome guy. It's a nice vest he's got. The laser engraver. Picked up a laser engraver so that I can start doing all the etching for these 2 knuckleheads right here. So, and also all the custom etching. Christopher, wow, look who showed up finally. Wait, no knife hand. Wow, Christopher. This
Comes in and bang.
this comes in. Wow. Well, guys, it was nice to have you here. Now that Chris is here, we can all go. You all take it easy. We'll see you. The guy that never shows up to the party now shows up slinging cocktails and drinks. I see how you are. But nice to have you, Christopher. Hey, there's Steven. How you doing, sir? Washington, you guys got a little chilly a little while ago, didn't you? Yes, you did. But yep, so we got the laser engraver up and running, and we were practicing all day with this thing. It's real fun, but there's a big learning curve. If it wasn't for Chris here, Tyler and I would have never been able to figure it out. We would have been absolutely lost, I tell you. We would have been lost. So I'm gonna set you up. Oh yeah. And for you guys, let's talk wood, shall we? Just got a whole bunch of wood here. And you know I like wood. Look at some of this stuff, guys. Look at that. This is desert ironwood. Patrick, hello Patrick. I got all my desert ironwood in. This stuff is beautiful. Oh, I almost forgot. Oh, everybody's going past there. But we don't have to read Christopher's comments. We'll just leave Christopher's comments with it. But this wood is for you, Christopher. So, but without further ado, you guys remember that hairy son of a gun over there? You remember him? He's been in some videos in the past, as well as with the grand opening. He was Forgotten Coast Canine's representative at my grand opening in September 11th. This fella here, sitting between us, who just happens to be the bearer of some really nice indulgences. Chris O'Brien, he is the CEO and founder of Forgotten Coast Canine. I like wood too. Oh wait. Alright, on. That's what I get for reading Christopher's comments. That's what I get. So what I'm gonna do first and foremost, I shot you over real quick, you know, with the wood and everything. We can get back to wood. We'll get back to some of the stuff going on here at the table. But I want to introduce these two guys because they've got a lot to talk to you about, because I want Chris and Tyler to talk about Forgotten Coast Canine. I want you guys to hear about it once again. And just to remind you, these are up on the website for sale now. Time to get some. Bunch of knives up for sale. We'll get back to that in a little bit. But the knives you're selling here, money goes to Forgotten Coast Canine. They give you PTS kitties. They give you like small cats and gerbils for, you know, just for, oh, that's not it, is it?
No.
It's okay. I'm just going to be quiet. I'll let these two guys explain. There you go. If you got questions, you'll have to, Tyler will have to handle it because I've got the phone here, so. There we go. All right, so. Have at it, Mr.
Well, I am Chris O'Brien. I'm the founder and CEO of Forgotten Coast Canine. And we decided when we got into this that we were going to do things a little differently. We, instead of doing the standard, getting government money and going through things that way and dealing with the VA and all that encompasses, we decided that we were going to raise money privately through corporate donations and private donations. But also we weren't just going to give the guys a dog and hope for the best. A 2-week handler course, 3-week handler course, however the most of the people do it. What we decided was we were going to partner with the #1 dog trainer school in the country, Top Tier Canine. They have an excellent school where they teach people how to become dog trainers and how to start their own businesses. But they also train what's called Foundation Dog. It's patented, the process and the name is patented by them. It was a 3-year search to get that done. But they use a lot of, they teach the people more than they teach the dog. So we decided that that's how we're going to approach this. And what we've done is we started off with one offering that was going to be our Build a Battle Buddy program. We're going to start off with a puppy and working from 8 weeks old and teach the veteran or the first responder how to go through and how to take care of things from a standpoint of the puppy, of training it all the way up through its foundation stage and then finishing the dog over a 30-week live online program to where they've actually trained their own service dog by the end of that program. So, but through that process, everything takes some tweaks and bumps, What we've done now is we've offered we came up with 2 other offerings. One is a buy a battle buddy program, where we actually buy a 1.5 to 2-year-old foundation dog, because we know how they're trained and we know their backgrounds, we know everything about them, and put them with those veterans that need and have immediate need for dogs. And a lot of people can't take care of a puppy. A puppy is a pain in the ass. I mean, it just is. It's, you've gotta have that time, you've gotta have that focus. And a lot of these guys, we've got the new guy in in Virginia, James, that's coming in. He's a Vietnam era veteran. He has been waiting on a service dog for over 5 years. We're putting him in the buy a battle buddy program. We're gonna have him his dog before the summer. He's gonna be trained and be ready to go. People just, if they're in that, we decided to come up with a better solution, right? So we've still got the 30-week live online program, and now we have an 8-week live online program. So what we do at the end of those 8 weeks is we bring, everybody comes to Florida, we foot the bill for their hotel room while they stay, and they spend 2 weeks, unfortunately it's with us, but they spend 2 weeks, and we do the final integration of getting the dog in public, getting everything done, getting them on the airplanes, getting them in the music venues, the football games, we get them into every possible situation. So learning how to read the dog, they learn how to read the dog, they learn how to do everything to handle that dog and see what it's trying to do for them. So beyond that, we were looking, and we've got a friend who, one of Tyler's really good friends, who needed a dog. He's diagnosed with cancer, and so we had a dog that was actually trained to be my dog, and we put it in his hands. And what we found was that he didn't need a full-blown service dog. He needed a comfort dog, an emotional support dog. So now we've developed a program with that too, where we can actually take some shelter animals and start doing some good with some shelter animals as well. And in some of the shelters, so we're not just using, for the emotional support dogs, we're not using the foundation dogs necessarily.
Should she sit on the crate?
Probably not.
Okay, I just like to see.
Yeah.
She's so pretty.
So
pretty.
Come on.
She's so pretty.
This is Sophie. This is my service dog. But so she travels with me everywhere I go. Sleeps at night, wakes me up from my nightmares. And she is my, thanks, baby. She's my service dog. So we started out with the hopes of raising maybe $50,000 in our first year. Matter of fact, that's what we told the IRS, so we've got some explaining to do. Yeah, if you're watching, you already know my name. But what we were able to do through the phenomenal growth that we've had, we started our official kickoff with 60 people that I personally invited, and I hope to raise $3,000 or $4,000. We wound up over $12,000 in our first fundraiser, and by the end of the year, December of this past year, we had raised over $115,000. It just blew us away with the support we've gotten. Everything is just, it's just gone just crazy for us, and we can't thank everybody enough for the explosion of growth.
The reach was what we were talking about earlier, was not just like small businesses and little venues, but your MMA connections and the people doing your wrestling and stuff, and then the country music.
Well, the country music thing kind of developed. We've got a real good friend that I've known the kid, and he is a kid. He's 35 or so, 38.
That's a baby over there.
He's older than Tyler. But I watched him grow and develop through the years into a country music singer. He actually has won a Grammy and things like that. And that kind of rolled into us doing some venues in Nashville and getting some notoriety in Nashville. And now we've got a guy, Joey, and I cannot pronounce his last name, so we call him Joey Dees. It's seriously there's 3 Z's in his name. I cannot pronounce it, and he knows this. But he wrote a song in between shows and doing some shows for us. We really touched him with what we're doing. And So he wrote a song called The Pain You Don't Know. He's in the recording studios with it now. It is a song about PTSD, and it's going to be on all of our websites, all our stuff. Everything we do is going to be involved in that. And but that rolled into a thing called Freedom Jam, which is based in St. Louis, Missouri. We haven't finalized all the paperwork for it. I hope I'm not jinxing it by doing this, but we're going to do 10 or 12 shows with them this year, and they're going to give us 40% of their gate. Which is amazing when you consider the size of their venues. I guess we can tell about Florida, right? We can tell about the legislation.
Yeah, we might as well.
Yeah, we
If you're gonna jinx yourself, let's go all the way.
we actually reached out and through our American Legion connections and VFW connections, we actually met a lobbyist who approached me about contacting the state of Florida and approaching the legislature because there are monies set aside for this very thing that nobody ever taps into. So we got our House bill was written and submitted. We got notified on our drive out here that it was submitted and we voted on. My North Florida redneck behind will be in the Senate floor and in the House chambers and everything in Tallahassee the next couple of weeks, lobbying for for what we do. And guys, if all the money's come together, it costs us about $17,000 to $19,000, depending on what program they go through. Our portion of the charity is what we spend on each veteran to get the dog, to get the training, to take care of them when they're staying with us and everything. And it looks like next year, it looks like next year, if everything goes the way we hope it does, and we have no reason to believe it won't after the year we've had this year. Guys, we're going to put between 40 and 80 dogs in the hands of veterans and first responders next year, which is unheard of in a year and a half at Your Old Charity. So we are busting our butts to make a difference. We're trying to put a dent into those 22 suicides a day that happen between the veterans and first responders, and we're doing everything we can. And we can't thank everybody enough for all the support we've gotten.
She's such a sweetie. She's sitting there, I just pet her, and she nibbles on my finger, and she likes, and she just wants the attention so bad. She's such a big baby.
Down.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Oops, down. Down there.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, so people can help support Forgotten Coast Canine if you're outside of the Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida, Georgia area. If you're like me and you're out in the nosebleed sections, how do people support Forgotten Coast?
We can go to, Tyler has set up on our website, Tyler runs all of our IT stuff, a donation section on there. You go to ForgottenCoastCanine.org. We have Venmo, we have Cash App, you can mail checks. We're working on a couple of other things, do donations with Facebook and with Instagram, doing their donations stuff. And if you are an employee of Microsoft or know one, this is huge. We had the guy who gave the dog to with cancer, his sister donated $600 to us. Well, because she is an employee of Microsoft, I was contacted by the Benevolent Causes portal, registered on there, and now every time somebody donates to Forgotten Coast Canine that is an employee of Microsoft, Microsoft matches that donation through the Benevolent Causes portal.
That's pretty cool.
So it's growing. Like I said, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. We keep backing into these things where, my daughter used to manage a brewery. She was a bartender while the whole pandemic thing was going on and was trying to figure out what she wanted to do. And one of the silent partners in that is a manager of a mortgage company that has a company called the American Warrior Initiative, where they give money each year. They've given us over $80,000 this year just because of those connections. So like I say, everything is we've been really, really blessed this year.
So go on the website, pay just like any dollar amount cash.
Yeah, I don't care.
Kind of thing,
Listen, everybody goes, well, I can only give $5. $5 buys me a leash to give it to a veteran when it comes. $5 pays for the patches that say service dog on the side of their vest. $5 is a big deal. Don't think that it's not. I'd love to have 5,000 people give $5 a piece. That would be amazing. So, I mean, that's just as big to us, if not bigger.
But on the flip side now, like you mentioned, everybody, like some people could sit back and go, well, geez, you know, you're having all this good luck and marketing and getting connections. Why should I even bother donating? People don't understand the costs
Yeah.
to
And it runs
get a
out now.
dog and
And
the hotels that you're talking about in
yeah,
weeks.
and the travel and
Yeah.
it really adds up. You know, we sponsor a swim series called the Fresh Start Swim Series. It's an open water endurance swimming thing. We've got a board member, Julie Madison. Holy crap.
She's the one who
This
said, right?
She
She
just swam around Anna Maria Island off the coast of Tampa, which is, I want to say it's either 11 or 17 miles. 17 miles. She did it in under 8 hours.
Wow.
And she was the first one recorded to ever do it.
All the
so-
other ones were eaten by shark.
Yeah, there was a lot of attempts. She was the first one to do it. Her kayaker had a gun. But yeah, so just to give you an idea of the expenses, for that event, we raised about $15,000 for that event. By the time we paid the lifeguards, paid the travel, paid the security teams there, because we had to have the sheriff's office, the EMTs, everybody else came out. By the time we did all that, we wound up with just about $8,000. And because we were brand new at this, we're having to split a lot of these events with other people, so we had to split that with a co-sponsor. So even though we raised $15,000, we actually stuck $4,000 into the account. Now, that sounds like we're running backwards, but it's not. It's getting that notoriety out there. From that, it's already springboarded. We're already getting donations in for the next event that we're doing in April. And so it's this first year, although we've raised a lot of money, it's getting a lot of awareness out there. So the next events, as we go into the next year, we're having these second annual events. It's not going to be, the expenses aren't going to be as much. We're trying to do things a little differently also in this aspect as well. We want to keep our operating costs, salaries, travel, everything we do at about the 20% mark. So we give 80% back to the veterans. Most of the time it's backwards of that. Most of the stuff that you look up, salaries and benefits and all of the fundraising, everything is around 65% of what they bring in. So they're only giving 35 to 40% actual back to the veterans, and we're trying to flip that on its ear. We're doing everything we can to
I can assure you guys, these two didn't roll up in my driveway in some really fancy Cadillac, something like that. The stories of them getting from Florida to Wyoming was rather colorful to say the least. So,
Speaking of expenses and time,
yeah, so,
yeah,
this
we
trip
broke down
was-
twice.
so
But
they're not rolling in like,
yeah.
you know, stretched Humvees or something like that. So I just assure you, there's a used Chevy Suburban in the driveway.
A 2011
Yeah.
Chevy Suburban. Hallelujah.
So they're running quite modest, to say the least. And your board of directors, you're retired,
Right.
but everybody else is still like a full-time employee with doing whatever they
So
do.
that's, yeah. And
So
I was working full-time, even though I retired from the sheriff's office, I was working the charity full-time, and I was putting in about 50 to 60 hours a week with Top Tier K9, who
Okay,
used to
yeah.
do this to, as a trainer and in his school and everything, to take money to fund all this to get to the point where we are. I didn't start full-time with the charity until I actually refinanced my house. Took money out so I could live for a year without taking any income to see if we could make this work. So we started in September.
Yep.
I went full time doing this just that September, and since then it's just this.
And I think that's important to hear because when people see 501(c)(3)s, they're like, you know, there's mixed opinions. Then you get the veteran aspect of it, and everybody's, there's so many. What do I do? How do I choose? How do I pick? And then you see, well, not name certain organizations, but the people that started them, they're living a lot better than any one of us are.
Yeah.
They are wearing a lot nicer clothes than my Costco t-shirt
Yeah.
or my Costco shirt from 3 years ago
Yeah.
or something. You know, they're doing a lot better off. So if you want to think about modest starts and modest means, that's why I thought this was important because of how Chris started. And we were talking about when Tyler first told me about Forgotten Coast, and then how fast it also just started snowballing. It was like a very steep cliff that Chris jumped off of, and he just got so much momentum. It was almost like you weren't going to be able to stop just to catch your breath, because of how big it's just within, what, not even a full year yet.
Yeah. Well, we had absolutely nothing planned for January. January was gonna be the month that we went, okay, let's get this legislation done, let's plan the rest of the year, let's get everything done. And now, we're here, the day we get back, I've got another bag already packed. I'll throw this bag in the house, grab the other bag, and I drive to Tampa for an event that we're doing with, it's the Frog Dance Swim we're doing with the SEALs. We're gonna be down there and talk with those guys and see if we can do some work with them. And then I come back and then I go back to Tampa the following week for Ronnie's Run. It's a run that we sponsored down there, and we'll be down there doing that. And we just got, talking about falling into things. My brother's ex-wife got remarried, had a daughter. Daughter is Miss Tallahassee, is competing in Miss Florida title down there, and I was talking to her. She loves dogs, all this kind of stuff, so she's going to come on board. She's going to be down at some of the events now, wearing her sash, and even if she makes it to Miss Florida and wins, she's still going to be at all the events, and that's going to help bring publicity to us throughout the state. So just weird things happen.
Yeah. How about once you scroll through comments or questions? It's been a little while. What do we got going on here?
Well, Chris is always talking about.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to call him Nickname him Censor.
But he's saying that, we inspire him to be a better person.
Well, listen, this is a guy though, we're picking on Chris. This guy does 22 plus 1 a day.
Yeah.
Every day, he videos it. He's a huge supporter of the military and law enforcement. We freaking love this guy.
And honestly, I don't know. My wife would argue with me, but I don't know if I could pull off a kilt. She loved that and he had to kill. And Christopher Roxy's kilts, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. All right.
I would be willing to bet that dude can wear a different kilt every day for a month. How
Oh,
far off am I, Chris?
Oh yeah, and those boots. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's got like 30 boots. So who else is in here? They'll tire out.
So
Travis from
Colin Pate, he's
Colin, okay.
He just came in.
Oh, hey there, Colin. He's our Marine.
Oh, gotcha.
He's our Marine that we were talking about that earlier.
Ellis and I,
Ellis in there.
with love from Nevada. I'm a little late. Hi, everyone from Reno.
Oh, not bad at all.
Yep.
How you doing, Francis?
Carl Womack. Dogs are so important to living, and to have them as service animals is fantastic.
Carl's one of our former Leo brothers. He's up in Moscow. I know.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story about the dogs and the saving lives. A buddy of ours, and he's on the board, retired first sergeant, 375th Rangers, Bravo Company, was in Somalia, got shot in the hand in Somalia during the whole Black Hawk thing, was part of the lost convoy, served in Iraq and Afghanistan. When he came home and I met him, he actually worked for me when I was at the sheriff's office. He worked for me for a little while. He just couldn't really, he couldn't get out of his own head. So he went back overseas for a little bit and did some contractor work. Well, in between one of the times he was overseas, his wife called me and said, "Can you go get him? He's not doing anything." And he literally had not gotten out of bed for 2 days except to go to the bathroom and climb back in bed. No eating, no nothing. And it wasn't that he was angry, he wasn't depressed, he was just, it was like talking to his table. There was just no emotion. And I make a joke out of this, guys, but in all seriousness, and you'll hear me say it at every event, don't do this. I went over and got him. Guys that are borderline depressed and all this kind of stuff. I went over and picked him up, and yes, we went day drinking. It was bad. We wound up back at my house, and I had a dog there, Rex, and I was training, again, I keep losing my dogs. I was training Rex, and he lit up when he saw Rex. Yeah. And they played, and they bonded, and it was, we were, pretty intoxicated, but it was, but it was still cool to see him come back alive with it. And I told him, I said, "David, you gotta get Rex. We've gotta make this happen." And I had actually already sold Rex as a service dog to a company called Vet Comp and Pen, and they gave the dog away, which we'll get to in just a minute. And 3 weeks later, the lady gave the dog back. Didn't mean anything to her. It was just a little freebie handout thing. And so we made it happen where, David's wife, Angela, is about 4'11", maybe 5 foot tall. And Lenny, she scares the hell out of me. But she told him absolutely not, do not come home with another dog. We've got 5 dogs in the house. Don't you dare bring that dog home. Well, we showed up with a dog.
Hi, Angela.
Love you. But we, and it was an instant thing with her too. She fell in love with Rex. But that dog made David again. We went from a guy who wouldn't get out of bed to he reorganized his garage. He tore down his chain link fence and built a privacy fence and painted it, cleaned crap off the roof. He fixed a couple of leaks out of the house. And he became David again. And so to see that happen made me think, okay, well, maybe the service dog thing is real.
Yeah.
Because as a cop, all I had ever seen was the little Pekingese in the person. I couldn't ask them what it was actually a service dog, So I just didn't have a real good taste in my mouth about the service dogs. And then one of David's good friends, Casey, and you can read these guys' testimonies on the website. Casey's dog died, service dog died. Had a bad heart thing. They tried to save it, and his veins literally disintegrated on the operating table. They could not save Sasha. And it pushed Casey right to the edge. And a company called Hanks and Eli's Fund reached out to us about training a service dog for him. And we gave the projected timelines for getting the right puppy, getting things done, getting everything done. And they were saying, well, he's got a 14-week-old puppy, or a 12-week-old puppy. Can you do anything with it? And we really like to start younger, especially with a Malinois because they're trained soon. But, just hearing the story, and I said, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
So we took Xander in, and I'm telling you, Xander's a unicorn. This dog is just incredible. And we trained him up and everything, and we put them back together, and then we're getting ready to leave. We were at this great little place we eat at in Madison called C&D Bistro, and we were outside and eating, and he was talking about the drive back, and you could tell he was getting tense about the drive. And all of a sudden, Xander jumps up and starts licking his face, and he's like, no. I said, let the dog do his thing. Yeah. And he said, what do you mean? I said, just get the dog calm back down, don't get onto it. So he sat there and he worked the dog, and got him all calm back down. And I said, that's what service dogs do. Yeah. They get your attention. I said, now you're back out of your head. You go, oh, in my head. Yes, you were. Yeah. Yes, you were.
They're like distraction.
Yeah. So they take your mind off of it and help you get out of those dark places you are. Yeah. And that's the beauty of them. And after we did that, I was sold. I said, that's what we're doing with the company. And I started doing the research and started doing the savings and started doing everything we needed to do to make it happen to where I could do this and we could put these service dogs in these guys' hands because it's part of our slogan, changing lives, saving lives, you're not forgotten. These guys are starting to slip through the cracks because they've been on these waiting lists for 3 and 5 years. People are starting to forget 9/11. They're starting to forget that we've been at war for 20 years. They really are. And it's amazing to me that they're doing that. This generation that's coming up doesn't understand that we've been at this war for 20 years. There's guys that are killing us. 22 guys a day are killing themselves. Yeah. And if we can just give them a dog, it changes their lives. Tell them about the turnaround with Schaefer.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And he was down when I last saw him, or when I first saw him when we dropped off Junie. He was down to 115 and, just started chemo and everything else. And ever since he got Junie, he was up, moving around. He gained 30, 40 pounds now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's now got the whole dad bod thing and it's kind of weird to see him that way.
But
Schaefer.
His life has completely changed because of a service animal. And, he thanks us almost every single day, not just by saying, hey, thanks, but donating even more money to us.
This guy, we actually came up with an award for this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We actually came up with an award for him. This guy, and he'll tell you, he said the only difference between me and you and living is that he said I have an expiration date that I'm aware of. Yeah. He was given weeks to live when we put Junie in his hand, and now it's months to possibly years. It's just that big of an impact. And this guy keeps giving money to us, he
Yeah.
keeps getting donations to us, he keeps raising funds for us. So what we came up with, and everybody to an extent is worried about their legacy, right?
Yeah, you,
We build
you always
a
gotta think
business
about
for our
what you
kids,
do.
we move, you know,
yeah,
and you want to be remembered.
yeah,
And so in honor of that, we came up with the Craig Schaefer Award. We gave it to him, this past,
just a couple of weeks ago. wasn't
yeah,
it?
New Year's Eve weekend, we gave it to him right here at the end of the year. And, but we're gonna give it every year to a person that most exemplifies Craig's spirit.
Yeah.
You know, this guy is in a spot that, you know, nobody wants to be in. Nobody wants to think about this kind of stuff, but he not only thinks about this kind of stuff, but he thinks about the next guy.
Yeah, yeah,
And wants to make sure the next guy is taken care of.
yeah.
And that's really, I mean, I was in the chair for us, thank you. So we don't have that, I mean, and we really don't. We don't have that same brotherhood that you guys had in the Marines.
Well, he actually recruited me in the Corps.
Yeah, I mean, so,
That's right.
oh, so we can blame him for that.
Yeah, we
Oh.
did that.
He was in the Air Force.
But the, hey, I did have really good food and good hotels,
You
Eric's.
guys did.
Um,
Air Force did good. That was-
But that brotherhood that he's bringing, you know, to this and everything, it's just amazing to see.
Yeah. Now, it's funny, you mentioned two things, and one of them was having a dog and giving it to guys. Now, it's always been heard, guys that have been married or stuff like that, when a woman has a problem, we were always told, men are automatically fixers. And we want our wife or our girlfriends or whatever, tell us your problem, we're immediately jumping in saying, we gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, and that's not what they always want. They want someone to listen. Well, on the flip side, the guys, we don't really want to talk about a lot of stuff, and we don't really care about anybody else fixing it for us.
Right.
But what we do always seem to connect with is the fact that, yes please, is that
I can tell.
having a dog. Now, me, I've been a dog owner a long time in my life. You know Dutch and how I am with Dutch. Most people here know that. It's just weird, the old term, man's best friend. It's weird how men connect with a dog.
But
And we don't need to have that dog answer to us. It's just sitting there, petting that dog, having it lay in your lap or sit with you, drive in a vehicle and have that dog. Sometimes, you know, like before I'd have the dog sit in my old Ford and Dutch would lay down and put his head on my lap while I'm driving my F-350. You know, it was a big, like a bench seat. So it's weird how guys connect with that and we get solace and we get comfort in that more so than having someone say, please tell me all of your feelings and your emotions.
Yeah.
And so much of
It's a
it
good thing
is,
she can't talk.
so much of it is we just want to down,
Yeah.
you know, we just want to slow down. We want to lower our speed, our drag and everything, and simply just having that dog, whether you need it because of PTSD or otherwise. I just find so much comfort with having Dutch and just having a pup like that.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
magnify that
Yeah.
for guys like Schaefer and and what they're going through.
Well, and to that note too, and I it's a universal guys thing, right? I grew up in the era, I'll be 55 this year, I grew up in the era that it's, you know, he did and he did, even though it's, and she, instead of the he, she, or the there. You know, it's how I was taught English, so just whatever. But in this first class, I felt like that, I can't apologize for this, how I was taught. But in this first class, we have, actually have two females in this first class going through, and one's an RN, and one's an EMT. And they're going through this, they were both in the service, and then they both are, you know, got out and doing other things, so.
Each story, yeah.
And, so, you know, and they are rocking it. We're gonna have some video and stuff when they come up, the 23rd of January through the 4th of February, they get their certifications, they come and stay with us for those couple of weeks. And we're gonna have some videos of that, and I'm telling you, the one that's coming out of Missouri, y'all are gonna go, holy crap. So it's gonna blow your minds, so.
More questions? Questions and comments? We're kind of far back in there.
No, they've been kind of just listening.
Everybody's doing stuff. Okay, I saw, every now and then I saw your phone like tick over.
Yeah.
Like as if somebody was saying doing something, so. Don't want to ignore you guys. Want to get some
Yeah.
questions in there or
But
some
I said
comments.
something earlier about the money we give the dogs.
Yeah,
Again, we do things a little different, and we got a little bit of heat from this, but not as much as I was expecting. Jeff Linder owns Top Tier Canine.
Yep.
He is
Who is Jeff Linder? These folks don't know.
he is the owner of Top Tier Canine. Kind of a one of the pioneers of the whole SEER thing. Was the first SEER instructor to instruct in country overseas. They all before they all did it here and then went, but he was actually they did SEER instructions in country. Was nominated for SEER instructor of the year and all that kind of stuff. Didn't make it, but he was nominated. Was a software guy, sold a software company. He had a service dog, sold a software company, and was trying to replace his service dog and went to a school that was the #1 school at that time in the country, Tom Rose Schools. And that's where he started his work with building what has become the foundation dog, was his learning there. And he applied everything he knows about processes and things like that with, because he's also a certified project manager, taught Lockheed, taught at Hewlett Packard, taught all these places about Six Sigma and those kind of things. And so Jeff's a very well-rounded guy, very knowledgeable guy. I will tell you this, if you ever get to come to see Body Club, which is something they do on Saturdays, and he has to fix something that me or one of the other instructors does, he likes to wear a shirt that says Master Dog Trainer on it. And so when we're having trouble with something, we're all Master Dog Trainers, we all have our shirts on. And but if he fixes our problem, he turns around to us and goes, and points to his Master Dog Trainer thing. Love this guy to death, love him like a brother. He's an amazing guy. But what he's done is, because he's a service disabled veteran himself, and his son is a quadriplegic service disabled veteran with a service dog. He, as he went through and developed these things, we decided that this was a lot of our issues, right? We can't sleep at night, so we drink ourselves to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, what if your service dog can also protect you? What if you don't need to get up and go check that door 15 times, that window, that stuff, because you know that your buddy is
Take
going
some
to have
pressure
your
off
back.
of that.
So we've seen a reduction in the medicines, we've seen a reduction in the alcoholism, we've seen a reduction in that by having service dogs that protect. And there's nothing in the ADA that says, we get arguments about it all the time, there's nothing in the ADA that says you can't do that. It says your dog can't be aggressive. My dog's protecting me, it's not being aggressive, it's protecting me. So we get a lot of that. But that being said, Jeff decided that he would normally to get the program that he had, to go through the pet trainer into the foundation dog, get certified in both, and then get to his business boot camp to learn how to run your own business, is about $23,000 to $24,000. So what he did was, he said if the veteran will put in $5,000, he'll put in 8 of his own money. We put in the other 8, buy the puppies, and pay for the finishing when they're there, and then pay for the lodging while they're with us. So he's put in a lot of skin into the game as well, and all he asked was that the veteran put in some, so that there's and it has been. The guys that have stepped up and put in the money and done this, these guys are, and girls, sorry, guys, but they, they're so invested in it that they don't want to fail. And if they've raised money in their community's holding them to it. So they don't want to let down their community, and so what we've offered is when these guys do come on board, if they can't come up with the $5,000, is that we'll go to their local VFW, we'll go to their local organization and help them raise money. And so we get them to that point, but then they're held accountable, right? The whole American Legion's behind them, they're not gonna fail. We're all, if you were in the military and you did anything, other than, I don't really like this, other than the supply guy, I mean, if you did anything other than that, you probably are an alpha type personality.
Yeah.
Now that being said, supply guys don't get pissed off because I was an electronics guy in the Air Force. But I'm also a SWAT guy, K9 unit, ran this K9 unit supervisor in Florida where I was at and all that kind of stuff. So we're all that alpha personality, so we're not gonna fail. we're not gonna let that be what we're remembered for.
Yeah.
So,
now, if you guys wanna do something, you can go over to your guys' website, make a basic donation, number one. Number two, you got the knife, right? So,
Yeah, it was Wilson.
they're all whispering now, So,
Yeah,
They're
that's
doing-
he was-
they're doing the raffle still. The drawing is March 17th
Yep.
at St. Patrick's Day.
of course.
And it's gonna be for the Forgotten Coast Cave and Companion. You'll get pictures on my website. If you go to their website, you'll see photos as well. It's $10 a chance, and buy as many as you want. The drawing will be March 17th, so then you get a chance of winning a knife like that right there. Swag, you guys had swag before.
Mhm.
Where are you at on swag? Because I know sometimes people like, I don't mind donating, but they want a little something for it.
You know,
So,
we're back on our long sleeves, but we have plenty of other shirts. We've got hats, we've got tumblers, we've got coffee. The elixir of life. What else do we have on there? We've got stickers, koozies.
yeah.
Where the buses getting patches made too.
Right, yep.
So there's a lot of other ways. Some people are like, I just want something. If I give $10, give me a patch. That kind of stuff. So they do have swag and apparel
Right.
and have things like that. But if you want to get involved in life, you can do that, and you can get a chance for that as well. And you'll be squared away in that way.
Yeah. Yes, Chris, we are working on hoodies. They sent us a run. They were thin t-shirt material. The seams came out of them. It's not anything we're gonna sell.
Well, you know, Chris wears hoodies.
Occasionally.
Yes. I didn't know that because I don't think he's ever bought a Seek anything to a hoodie. This is new to me. I didn't know he wore hoodies. I'm something. I was just taken
But
back by that.
we're working on them. Hopefully we've got a new company that we're dealing with, and hopefully they're going to come through for us with a really nice quality hoodie like the ones that you're carrying.
Yeah. And their coffee is the same as mine, the ground powder. They pick their blend, they go through it, they get their bags made and everything, just like mine. Your guys' coffee is on your website, and or in person when you do venues.
Right.
Mine's just on the website now, so do I want to know? He's laughing.
So also, guys, and we do have a lot of fun with this. We get out, we love meeting people. We really do have a good time at all these events. But one thing that we are missing, more than the funding. I mean, the funding is coming, and we appreciate every single dime. Trust me. But we need guys to go in there and apply. We need veterans. And the guys, and it's a thing running around on Instagram, I see it all the time. If you ask somebody who's been in service, who's been a cop for more than 10 years, who's been a firefighter, EMT, who's seen this kind of things, an ER nurse, if you ask them how they're doing and they say, I'm all right, they're not all right. They're not. I'm alright means I got some shit going on. There's stuff going through my head. I'm fighting demons, but I'm not going to talk to you about it. So if they say I'm alright, direct them to the website. Get them over there. Get them to fill out an application.
Yeah.
You know, get them to do that. One of the things that we're doing too, I've got a really good friend of mine. God, I don't remember not knowing her. We've known each other our whole lives. She runs a clinic called Honey Lake, which is down in Florida, and it's a healthcare clinic, a mental health care clinic.
Okay.
And so what she has done is, as a part of the stuff when they come to us, they're going through for certifications. The third or fourth day that we're in there, she comes out, she sits down and she talks to everybody. Gives them her personal number, reach out to me if you have a problem, here's the stuff we have. This is what the dogs can do for you. She's a firm believer in the dogs. And so she sits down and talks to them. So we actually have, a mental health professional that comes out and talks to them to see where they're at and to help them get a plan to be better, not just because of the dog, but through the dog.
Yeah. And so with the laser engraver, you mentioned tumblers and stuff.
Right.
We're going to start working with a lot of stuff like that through me, Tyler spent the better part of like 6 hours today, going through stuff and trying to get things sorted out and everything. So now we can start etching the knives. And,
Everything's color coded now with Crayola names.
That's right. Crayon names. Cherry good.
I'm not.
Great bad. But, so we're gonna start doing stuff like that. So we're working on trying to get a supplier for more tumblers
Right.
and getting things like that. But keep an eye out for that kind of, that kind of stuff. It's always nice to support companies. You get a little something for it and you know what it's for. Plus, it's advertising for that company. Whether it's for me, you guys, you get my mug or something like that, or t-shirt, or something like the tumblers and t-shirts. So that's kind of important. But to get into why this is called Whiskey and Knives, what pretty tell is this we've been sipping on?
It's natural spring water from the mountains of LJ, Georgia. Little 75-year-old bearded man with long braided hair makes it in
We
an
can't drink it
undisclosed
all.
in an undisclosed location. But yeah, it's
It's pretty
nice.
good. It's peach.
He's got a special way of making his flavors.
Yeah.
He's got a friend who owns a confectionery company, and when they run their flavors, when it goes through the thumb cake, they add the confectionery sugar of the flavor candy mix.
Oh my
That's what it
gosh.
tastes like.
Now I do have, just so I can keep in tradition, I had a fallback in case, because we can't drink this all, I gotta save some for Kasha.
Yeah.
I think she'll like that. But today's whiskey is going to be this, Benjamin Pritchard's, right here. And I thought this would be kind of indicative to what you brought,
Yeah.
because it's a rather clear spirit, I should say. So do this for you guys that couldn't read it just now. I'll put mine on and suffer. So it's Benjamin Pritchard's Lincoln County Lightning. So it's a Tennessee corn whiskey. So it's down in Kelso, Tennessee. I've had this bottle for about 4 or 5 years. I sip on it. Not one of my top 10 favorites, but I thought in lieu of Chris's elixir, I figured I'd bring out some of my own. So I'm going to do that. So Benjamin Pritchard's is the choice for today. Second only to this stuff right here. Next, if we have questions? Is there anything?
Chris is saying, you're shady, and that's why he loves you. And, he threatened us saying that we're all getting glitter bombs now,
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
so,
All right.
and then, we're just talking back and forth here. Alright, so much flavored water.
Yes.
And the first whiskey that you have shown that I haven't had,
Ah,
that's from Pate.
okay.
And then,
He wants to be punched.
Shut my attention.
he said it's not a top 10, so you drink it with the guys. That's super shady.
Oh, nice. So we were working on a new style sheath.
Yep,
So that knife you got there,
yep, this is
Now-
our afterlife.
that was a raffle knife. Now that was, you guys will see that sheath model on the websites.
Yep.
I was playing around with a little bit different shape. Trying to take a couple pictures and kind of get that out there. But this one was a little bit thinner, and this one was more in line to what Colin, if he's still on there, what we did with Colin's knife. So I did something like that. He got that set up. And same with the tech lock, but it's a little slimmer profile. So it gets you set up pretty good. But we still have all the etching and everything that's going in well. Got that nice and tight there. It's got oil on it, you guys know. I put the butcher block oil on there, but they come with the Forgotten Coast Canine. So we got that. What MLS was Moody? I just saw that Colin. He was a baker.
Yeah.
He baked in the Marines.
I was intel and lab moved over to ordnance. Deployed Afghanistan
Baking,
once.
ordnance. It's- You remember what MREs are like, right, Colin? They're considered organs. So we're gonna play around with this style a little bit more. Try to get it going, but we'll make this maybe an option for you guys. And like both sheets, when you take the tech lock off, you can rotate it so you could wear it like this if you wanted, or you could wear it like this. So that's cool. And then again, give you a close-up of it. Standard is the black micarta with the green liners, again with the Forgotten Coast on there. So we got that all done. He says sadly.
Yep.
He says, also, we'll let you guys know, this is a homeless coyote works knife. This is the homeless knife. I already sold the pup the other day, and this is the camp knife, and it's olive drab micarta, and you just pick out what kind of sheath you want. I pack it up, I sharpen it for you, and it's ready to rock and roll. So I wanted to let you guys know about that. But so we worked out all the bugs. We got this out. I got my knife. We're doing good there. Appreciate that. So
What knife is that?
Oh,
well, I always got the raffle knife, and I've got mine.
yes.
So
Huh.
No way. God, that's awesome.
it's tight. That's I gotta loosen it up some more, but
Holy cow, that's the new laser too.
Yep.
that's the new one. Yep. Put that little towel.
Yeah, we worked on it right for you.
Well, obviously I was never a detective. Just played with dogs. It was,
There you go. You wipe off the oil if you want.
wow. You're my kidding. You serious?
Yeah. That's Madagascar ebony. It's that's in stainless steel.
Yep.
So that's CPM 154 stainless steel.
That everybody's badass.
And Madagascar ebony. So and
Wow.
but you were making that in front of Chris. I was
I didn't
making
know.
sheets. I was making sheets and asking what kind of sheet you like for this one. And then we started etching stuff. And so Jonathan, I've actually
Well, that's right, because I kind of get sucked into the whole Instagram and Facebook thing when I'm posting and all that stuff. So apparently,
that's right. So Jonathan, Mr. Loose, this is yours, buddy. It's all blue tape because I gotta make your sheet. But yours is already rock and roll. Yours will be the next on the engraver.
that's awesome.
So it'll be the second knife off the new engraver. So
Man, thank you guys. That's
Well,
freaking great.
so to let you guys know, I've got 2 more already heat treated, and we're gonna hand sand and make. So there's not gonna be a long wait for the next couple of Forgotten Coast canine knives. And then I've got 3 or 4 more already drilled and shaped that have to get a blade profile and then heat treat. So the goal is to not have a long wait. We're gonna do about 5 a month if we can. If not, we can do more depending on how their sales are going.
Right,
But I gotta balance out to not get overwhelmed like I was telling you
right.
what happened to me before. But if I'm slow on other spots, like with Coyote Works knives or a 307 or something like that, then I'll just make more Forgotten Coast canine companions available. So, and everybody can customize these. So originally it was just black micarta with the Forgotten Coast pin and the green liners. If you want, and you want to upgrade to a wood like this ironwood, and I'll touch on the ironwood real quick. This ironwood again gets, I mean, some of this stuff is, it's so pretty when you see some of this stuff. It's just so pretty. And these are just some samples that I got. But I picked up over 30 blocks of ironwood. So what I want to do is, if you want to upgrade your knife, you just buy the wood. And if you want green liners, then just write on there, yes, green liners. Then you get the wood with the green liners for the knife. So you'll be able to do that, but you'll be able to upgrade and customize your companion, whether you want a Madagascar ebony, the iron.
You were saying also if they wanted to support us,
Yes,
that they could also, any of the knives in your catalog,
Yep.
they could upgrade to our pin.
yep. And if you want to do a Coyote Works knife, but you want to get the decorative pin put in it, like a puck, for instance. You want a puck, but you don't want the puck pin. You want the Forgotten Coast pin. You do that, and then they get credit for that as well. I sent $25 to Forgotten Coast Canine to take care of the pin. So that can help you because whether it's for that pup or a rogue like this or 307, and you want to support them, But you don't want a really big knife like this, or you want something even bigger, you throw their pin in it, then they can get $25 from that pin being in there, and then you'll also be able to support them. Wait,
They're just cut.
We froze up for a minute.
wow, okay, that flag went after that comment. Tyler did something.
Yeah.
It's like we all of a sudden we're just like, poof, we got bashed on, so. But, what's going on? Am I gonna have to read these later?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Chris wants an implement of doom
Implement of doom, huh? Okay.
Then he's talking about a unicorn
edition.
edition.
Ah, well, so long as it's got a forgotten coast pin. I
Yeah.
think these guys will work.
Yeah.
But, so we covered your knife. You like that?
Yeah, that's incredible, guys, thank you.
The bad news, guys, Madagascar ebony is getting put on the endangered species list. So if anybody has it and I want to buy it to put on knives, it's costing more money. So I just want to warn you guys, if you get something like a knife with Madagascar ebony on it, it's very unique. It's going to be very, very unique coming up soon. And within the next 2 to 3 years, I probably won't be able to get it anymore at all, or won't be able to afford to do it, so. But, so, we got a knife for sale, it's homeless. We got a knife that's got a home now,
Yep.
talked about the sheets, covered that. We got our whiskey taken care of, although I haven't had that in years. So, I'm proud of my face like actually. What else did we might have? Trying to think if there's anything else. You guys got coffee? Okay, I got coffee, you guys got coffee. I got like 10 bags left. You guys ended up getting just got like 30 or so bags, right?
Yeah, we,
You're good to go.
it's such a great response. This is our fourth refill?
Yeah. Basically,
Our third refill, yeah.
We ordered 35.
Yeah, we ordered 3 dozen at a time and we sell out.
Yeah,
Just,
it's good coffee. If you guys like my coffee, you're gonna like their coffee. I assure you that one. It's gonna be really nice. But, if there are no other questions or comments,
Pete
we
was saying
can-
that, Mark was saying that, so you guys are out of focus. You got to focus.
okay, we good now?
that's because we've had too much of this.
Yeah.
That's why we're out of focus.
Surprisingly, it's good.
It
But
really
again,
is.
it's not like really
Yeah,
strong.
we're saying the resolution is great. I think it was just disconnected earlier.
Oh, okay. So, doing very good.
Yeah.
Let's hear what see. How are we looking, guys? Oh, hey, we got some super chats in there.
Yeah.
Where do super chats come from?
Yeah, with Roscoe, with Roscoe just donated $20.
Hey, Roscoe, how you doing, buddy? Great video, by the way. It looked like a good breakfast. That was a tasty breakfast there. So, and who else is that? Is that Travis?
No, it's with love from Nevada.
Francis.
Yep, so
Oh,
she
thank
said
you,
you guys are
Francis.
made awesome. I'll check out Forgotten Christina on IG.
Thank you.
To
Excellent.
make dinner and catch replay. Good to see you, Chad and Tyler. Night, folks.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're just over an hour, so we'll wrap that up. But again, guys, here's the map. You're all ready to go on the map. Really happy, thank you. Oregon and California, you've been killing it. Look at that. You guys got it filled up. What else? There's the engraver. Can't really talk much about the engraver because I don't know a whole lot about it. You know, we're learning. Corey was a big help trying to get some of the stuff together. Corey's the guy that I originally had my laser engraving done by, and he got me steered on, and he was kind of getting us connected and trying to get this all set up. So thank you, Corey, for your assistance. That's about it, guys. I do appreciate it. For myself, Chris, Tyler, thank you very much. Love you.
Hey, guys.
Love all the support.
Thanks for
Remember,
listening to me run my mouth.
like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Keeps me from the bottom of the YouTube bucket. It's been a while since I said that. You all have a good one. We'll see you in the next live. Bye.